I listen to some podcasts, as many of us do. One of them that I listen to is actually somebody else used to listen to on the radio, but he's not on the radio anymore. He used to be on the radio, a thing where it goes through the air. At on WFMU in New Jersey. It's across the New Jersey's out there in America, the edge of America, and it's called the Dave. Well, Dave Emory is the name of the guy, and I think he just named his podcast various things over the years. But so I am listening to. He's old now. I think he's just maybe around my age, maybe a couple of years older, and so he's a kind of a old school conspiracy guy. Where he has stuff about conspiracies and Nazis. He's an anti-fascist guy. I know that's not fashionable, but that's the way it is. And so I like what he's offering, and so I listen to recent ones that he's on Patreon, does things on Patreon. He's expensive on Patreon, so I don't do those. So he released a couple of his Patreon things that he did in December with a guy named Sanderman. They were talking about the Process Church. So I'm kind of interested in the Process Church. I first heard about the Process Church when I read The Family by Ed Sanders, which was kind of the first book about Charles Manson and the family. And that was in from 1971. So it was way back. And the copy I read had material about the Process Church and his Manson's connection to the Process Church. These apparently had been removed by the publisher. Ed Sanders is a famous New York, upstate now, poet. He's still around, I think. Probably quite old. He must be pushing, 90 or something? So he's a poet, and he was in the Fugs, so he's one of the Fugs. Which was a band back in the day. And there's other bands I'm going to be talking about, but the Fugs, I actually saw the Fugs perform in one of the revivals at the Bottom Line in New York some years back. Everything's some years back at this point. So they were talking about this book and a reading from the book called Love, Sex, Fear, the inside story of the process, the inside story of the Process Church of the Final Judgment by Timothy Wyllie, and edited by Adam Parfrey. So, listening to Dave Emory, you get other material about certain people, like this is by Pharaoh House Press. Now this is from the library. It's a really nice big book from the library. So they had this, but of course they don't have Nobel Prize winner Sinclair Lewis's novels, as I just talked about in a previous thing where I talked about the King's Blood Royal, and we're raving about that. So I'm not raving about this. This is ended up being a DNF. Goodreads did not finish, so I started it, and I got 100 pages in or something, 88 pages in, and they read a lot on the podcast, the Dave Emory podcast. the guy that's on Sanderson reads a good deal of things from the book, and he says, don't buy the book, get it from the library or get it from archives or something, because you don't want to buy the book because and as Dave Emory also talked about, this guy Adam Parfrey, who is now dead. He died in 2018 at age 61 from a stroke, so he's gone. But he was publisher and the of Exit magazine, and then Amok Press. I think he was involved in Amok Press, and I was reading an article earlier about him, so I'll probably put the link to that if you want to read about that, as well as the Dave Emory stuff. So, but he's, basically, Pharaoh House is, kind of a right wing publishing house. And so he would publish some kind of lefty stuff, as Emory said, kind of to cover up that it's really just a kind of right wing operation. So what we have here, and why did I stop reading the book? Well, I was aware that there was a movie called Sympathy for the Devil, a documentary that covers a lot of the material in the book and has interviews with a lot of these elderly process people. Timothy Wyllie here is also dead, so they're all kind of dead. And so I watched that last night, and I decided, well, I don't need to read the rest of this stupid book because I did not like this person who was writing the book, and looking further into him, like he's got a bunch of other books about his angels and about this sort of bullshit stuff about dolphins, and a lot of like new agey angel stuff and past lives and all that sort of material that I don't believe in. I don't believe that we are reincarnated. I believe in angels, and he's talking to this angel, and he has a lot of these big series of books about these angels and so forth. And he ended up in New Mexico and build his own house in New Mexico. And I don't know, maybe if you live in New Mexico, you knew this guy who died in 2011. So, what goes on is it talks about this process thing, which is an offshot of. Also, I was interested in the process because I like to listen to Kurt Metzger, and Kurt Metzger is fun to talk about these things and these cults and so forth. But the thing is, this is kind of an apology. A book. It's kind of a justify. Oh, we were just kids, and and we weren't really connected to Manson, even though they interviewed Manson in their stupid magazine that they sold on the streets back in 1970, 71, whatever it was. So they came from England, and they came out of these two people. Actually, this guy, Timothy, is kind of one of the third sort of founders of the whole band of processes. And how it started was as kind of offshot of Scientology. So this woman, what the hell is her name? Marianne McLean, and Robert D. Grimson. So these two people, and it has a lot of pictures and stuff in this. That's kind of, all this part from here on in is all like photos and so forth of their magazines. And, it's kind of striking artwork and so forth, which is probably how they sold them on the street. Marianne and this guy Robert got together as kind of a couple, and they created this thing, and they like took over the e-meters for themselves and started doing this e-meter stuff. The e-meters where you hold on to the cans, and it's kind of like a crude lie detector sort of thing, I guess. And so they built this old cult out of that, and attracted these people in London with this edginess, and built more people, and eventually they went off to you decide they were going to leave London, and the band of them went to the Nassau and stayed there for a while. And then they went, there's sort of this long section where they go to Mexico, up in Yucatan area, and, somewhere that's quite isolated. And, they meditate, and they're being guided by beings. So there's beings that tell them what next to do. So, not beans, but beans, or Mr. Bean. I don't know, but I would rather follow Mr. Bean. Anyway, they go out to go to Mexico, and they have these big dogs too. So it's really kind of Nazi crap in a lot of senses. Marianne is really a Nazi simp type person, sympathetic sort, and really sort of domineering, and so all that, and she is really the one that's guiding the controlling the whole thing, while this guy Robert is just sort of the image of stuff from he's got the little goatee, and he's it looks striking, and they photographed him in certain ways to make him look interesting to edgy people. So it's all this edgy stuff. The whole bit is about this kind of edginess, and sort of anti-hippie thing. Like they wear like purple robes and so forth, and so they're out in the street, and basically they kind of surviving by selling this stupid magazine that they keep making. And this guy Timothy Wyeth is an artist, and he's the one who basically is creating the magazine. So it goes on from there, and she gets more controlling, and they go into America, and they go in various cities. Oh, and they're in New York City. Oh, they love these dogs, and not just normal dogs. They have German shepherds. So there's this section where they're in New York City trying to put a center together. They have they want to have a coffee house to attract people into their stupid cult here, and so they have they have like 20 dogs, German shepherds, in New York City, and they're living on Green Street somewhere for a while, and then they get another place in the West Village, in a nice part of the West Village, Cornelia Street, and then they are there with these 20 dogs, and somebody has to wash the dogs because they start fighting with each other, and so they must have made a hell of a lot of racket with all these dogs. And there's one story about him. They take all the dogs up to Central Park and just let them run loose, and like shocking all the people with their little dogs with the leads, and he thinks this is funny. This Timothy Wyllie character. So anyway, you can see him talking in the podcast, and he's on different. He has a lot of different. There's different. In the movie that is on YouTube, and he also is interviewed by this guy Morris that talked about a lot of psychedelics and drugs and so forth for Vice. And so there's an interview with this guy about how Timothy Wyllie, about how he got all these revelations out of taking PCP, and made his art from PCP, and maybe that's how he talked to angels and things with PCP. So let's see. I guess I'll show you a couple of pictures of the thing. Oh, here's their bit in Mexico. I probably should just take the camera and do inserts of that. So yeah, all this stuff of the images, all this material is sort of, you can sort of spin through that and look at them and, whatever. Oh, and then also another person who is interested in this, I don't know if he was ever really a member, but he's part of it. Oh, I'm sorry if I said he, that or them. That would be Genesis Genesis P-Orridge. No, Genesis P-Porridge. P-Porridge? Pea porridge hot, pea porridge cold. Peach porridge in the pot, 9 days old. So what'd you do all night? Pea porridge. So Genesis P-Porridge, I listened to Douglas Rushkoff, and Douglas Rushkoff is an interesting guy, but he kind of really sucks up to a lot of these friends of these, like he was, Rushkoff was part of Psychic TV for a while, which is Genesis P-Orridge's band. And he's also he was all around Timothy Leary in the last days of Timothy Leary, and I don't care about Timothy Leary. I think he's kind of a CIA dude ultimately, and as well as this Peoria guy who P-Orridge, yeah, P-Orridge. Who's just, I don't like him. Anyway, he's dead too. He died in 2020, I think. He was born in 1950, so he died in 70 years old in 2020. And here I am. I live on beyond all these people. So, yeah, anyway, I'm abandoning the book. Did not finish, and I'll put some things in the description if you want to look into this matter any further, if you feel like it. Doesn't matter to me, really. So hopefully I'll have something more interesting to talk about the next time I make a video.